Let me just ask you about Tesla because they had their earnings last night. They beat. The bears would say they beat because they sold these tax credits. And how long are these credits going to be a sustainable business model? What do you say? You bought into Tesla, or bought into the debt a long time ago.
I think this is a really important example of a much bigger trend that's happening in the stock market, which is that retail investors now have access to so much information that it's almost on parity with people that work in traditional investment organizations. And what we've seen is that's happened is that the quality of that analysis and the ability to see around the corner is as good, and in many cases better, than traditional investment firms and the way they view the problem. So from day one, you have had this massive tension between the bulls and the bears on this company. And the bulls basically saw a long-term trend around electrification, and the bears tried to play with balance sheet mathematics. Of course, if I said, you can sell 90,000 cars, but then if you negative sell 100,000, you've not sold 10,000. And you would say, what does any of this mean? You can use any convoluted logic to try to be short this stock, and what you would have done is just lost an enormous amount of money. And so what we're going to see now is that the stock is going to become part of the S&P 500. It is the leading edge when it comes to electrification and decarbonization. And here's the thing, Andrew, what the bulls will get right and what the bears will ignore from here is that this is no longer about cars. That's the first wave of growth. And I think people are pricing in an evisceration of traditional autos and an enormous shift to EVs, of which Tesla will get the disproportionate share. So now what is the bet? If you ask me as an investor who loves that company, it was in page 4 or 5 of their quarterly earnings release where they talk about the energy business. And they said a couple of interesting things. The first is that it was profitable. And the second is that they're also producing software now that allows effectively anybody to become a distributed utility. Now think of that for a second. You are talking about one of the most predictable, reasonable businesses that have raised hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars of debt. And what Tesla is going to do with their battery packs and their software is all of a sudden allow each of us to be in the energy business as well. Again, people will get angry. They will not understand. They will try to push back, and they will be wrong. And what's going to happen is that this stock is now going to represent the totality around decarbonization and sustainability. So it was really great to own this thing around cars for the first 4 years. I did it. I made a lot of money. But now I underwrite this company as a bet towards decarbonization, towards deregulated energy, and towards the ability for all of us to become our little micro utilities.